Welcome everybody. My name is Samuel Roy. I'll be introducing our guest speaker tonight. How did the societies of today come to be how they are? People made them how they are. In solving the problems of the past, people have created new challenges for us to solve. It's not inevitable that these challenges are going to be solved. Solutions require leadership, and we have to change how we are. I'm here to introduce to you one young person who desires such change. Growing up in the poverty of Bangladesh and the affluence of Dubai, our guest speaker, Ribat Chowdhury, has had the opportunity to see many of the contradictions of our world. Graduating top student of his high school in Dubai, allowed Ribat to start his Canadian story here in Canada with a full scholarship at Trent University. He made many friends quickly at university, one of whose father owns Woodhaven Country Lodge in Lakehurst, and who offered him a place to live when his campus residency expired. Living and working at the lodge, he had the opportunity to converse with guests, including the CEO of one of Canada's top marketing agencies. The CEO asked Ribat at one point to give a toast, and Ribat's speech that he gave, he liked so much that he offered Ribat a job on the spot. And he also liked Ribat's tech company idea. So this is how Ribat got himself in the position of editing his book for publication, which is what we're here to talk about, working for a marketing agency, developing his technology company, all the while studying business at Trent University. At 20 years old, Ribat does not have any new ideas. Though his message is not new, it is one we all need to hear. When we say the outliers, such as Martin Luther King, Gandhi, or Mandela, changed the world, we mean they changed themselves in ways that other people followed. The world changed when those people that were following changed themselves. Their followers are the world that changed. The world changes when each person changes how they are. To say the world must change means to say I must change. Without further delay, I'd like to present to you my good friend Ribat Chowdhury.
Thank you, Sam. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I thank the members of the World Affairs Colloquium for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. Thank you, guys. Before I begin, let me warn all of you, tonight's talk is not going to be about facts and figures, which usually shadow most talks at an academic institution like Trent. Tonight's talk is not going to be about statistics and reports, though I may borrow a few time and again. Tonight's talk is going to be about feelings, about emotions. Because let's face it, this is what separates us from other beings on the planet. We are very emotional beings. We play with our own emotions. Other people play with our emotions. And we, in turn, play with their emotions. In short, tonight's talk is not going to be about the mind, but rather the heart. So I wholeheartedly welcome all of you to this event. I'm Ribat, and as all of you know by now, I've written a book titled Dear United Nations. And let me tell you, it was tough, very tough, because writing was not my forte. English is not my first language. I did not have exposure to English literature as I was growing up. If you asked me to name the authors that I know of, I could count them in one hand. So the question is, why did I write this book? What motivated me to write? And what is this book all about? See, I'm doing a business major at Trent, and I love the corporate world. I am a true capitalist. Growing up, coming from a middle-class family in Bangladesh, and then growing up in the city of Dubai, where there is absolutely no distinction between wealth and gluttony, and not being able to have the things that my friends, the society in general, had, made me realize the importance of money. And I understand that money cannot bring happiness. But let me tell you, money is one of the biggest contributors to happiness. Because the availability of money puts a person in a continuous cycle of prosperity. And if you apply it at a macro level, the society prospers as well. So I came to Trent as an international student, dreaming of one day becoming a tech entrepreneur, having millions of dollars in my pocket and driving an Audi R8. And that is still a dream, part of it at least. But does that mean that because I love the idea of making money, I don't care? Does that mean that I will always have to crush other people's dreams to climb up the ladder of success? Will people always see me as a greedy pig? Because that's what the perception is. It's amazing how we all perceive things in our own beautiful ways. Wearing a long beard, which was once considered to be a symbol of wisdom in many cultures, now symbolizes fear and terror. And every time this happens, we ask ourselves, where are we? Wearing the veil is now considered to be a symbol of oppression, whereas taking away a woman's right to wear what she wants is considered to be the new expression of freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? Religion, which used to teach us tolerance and peace, is now justifying the killing of innocents, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? Nationalism, love for the country, which once united and bonded us together, is now the reasoning behind the alienation and hatred we show against each other, all in the name of protecting your sovereign territory, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? People spend hundreds of dollars every month to erode their lungs with cigarette packs, whereas a man in India struggles to provide a meal for his family. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we? People are starving for a morsel of grain in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, in Sierra Leone, in Afghanistan, and here you have governments spending billions of dollars developing next generation military equipment, all in the name of security, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? During the recession, people lost jobs, people lost their lifelong savings, children dropped out of school, families left without access to basic health care, and the big shots who did this, they received bailout packages from the government and used the money to decorate the interiors of their offices, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? Nearly 1 billion people entered the 21st century unable to read a book or sign their names. And here when I walk into my classes at Trent, I see more than 50% of the class checking their Facebook accounts and replying to text messages, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we? The iPhone 5 released last year. People who traded their iPhone 4S with the iPhone 5 paid $700 for an inch more in size. There was nothing new to offer except for a few technical tweaks. What value addition did $700 bring to your life? Ladies and gentlemen, where are we? Education, which has given us the information to think rationally and given us the power to change society, has failed to remove us from the darkness and ignorance that surrounds our society today. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we? We live in a screwed up world. Start counting your problems. From where do you start? From where do you finish? What is our problem? What is it? I think the problem is in perception. Throughout history, we have always perceived our problems in different ways. We do not have common frames of reference to understand our problems. And that is why we keep fighting the perception, but not the problem. To give you an example, at least $3.7 trillion spent, a decade-long war, 2 countries in despair, 8,000 troops, 150,000 civilians, and Bin Laden are now dead. Is terrorism dead? Again, we're fighting a perception, but not the problem. I think the two wars have given a renewed life to terrorism. Just think about it for a moment. Every time a child that is growing up in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, goes hungry, he knows there is a problem. When he cannot go to school, he knows there is a problem. When he cannot get treatment for his illness, he knows there is a problem. When he cannot buy new clothes for Eid, he knows there is a problem. When his father does not return home after work one day, he knows there is a problem. When he asks his ailing mother, "Who did this to us, mother?" she points to the American soldier walking down the street and says, "He did." What do you think this child will do when he grows up? The anger, the despair, and the revenge, and the urge for revenge will give him the courage to blow up. Again, we have fought a perception, but not the problem. If all those resources wasted in war were spent on education, on healthcare, and providing a better life to the people of one of the darkest regions in the world, the story would have been different. In a global, interdependent world where we have problems that affect each one of us, terrorism is not one country's problem, global warming is not one country's problem, poverty, inequality, and weak governments are global problems that need global solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to bridge our perception and find common ground. We need all of us to come together to solve our issues collectively. The process of changing this world, ladies and gentlemen, will be a long and tiring journey, no doubt. But someone, somewhere, will have to take the first step in that direction. And tonight, all of us in this room will take that first step. Tonight, we are going to change the world one person at a time. Who is that one person? It's you, and it's me. Some of the greatest men in history said, the greatest conquest is not to conquer the world, but to conquer the one within us. What is it? What is it, ladies and gentlemen, that will drive you, that will inspire you, that will motivate you to be the change you want to see? I'll tell you what motivates me. We all think of equality as a fundamental human right. We are all born intrinsically equal. But God, the Creator, the universe, the nature, whatever you may want to call the power above, has placed us in very unequal circumstances. Some people are rich while others are poor. Some people have their five senses working while others are blind or deaf. Some people are healthy and happy while others are born with life-threatening conditions. We all brag about equality and opportunity, but the fact remains we are not equal. And while all of us are looking forward for a wonderful supper this evening, there is someone in Africa who hasn't had a morsel of grain for about a week now. While we all will eat what the universe provides us tonight, this man will swallow his saliva and go back to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, this man's fate and the fate of billions like him forced me to think, what could be the justification of this prevailing inequality? Why weren't we all created equal? And the answer that I give myself is that maybe inequality was necessary for the people in this world to appreciate what they have. It always works like that. For someone to like something, others have to loathe it. For a rich man to appreciate his wealth, there has to be a poor man. For someone to appreciate his power to see, someone else has to be blind. For someone to appreciate the opportunities around him, someone else has to be deprived. Every day of my life I wake up and think, why was I born in this environment? I could have been born in a slum in Mumbai. I could have been born blind or deaf. I could have been born disabled, or I could have died within the first few moments of my birth, but I didn't. I survived. I got good food, a caring family, and enough money to fulfill my needs. And all this happened because I was born in the right circumstances. I was at an advantageous position, others were not. What is the purpose of my life then? Most of us have a very limited idea of how to live life. We all eat and sleep, work and play, earn and spend, but very few of us see life in its entirety. What is the ultimate purpose of our stay on earth? Are we to die as just engraved names in some marble walls in some graveyard where people rarely visit? Or are we to do something for someone that changes his life forever and puts him in a continuous cycle of prosperity for generations to come? Maybe that is the reason why God created me in an advantageous position to do something for the ones who weren't as lucky. But what could we possibly do? Maybe we could begin by appreciating what we have. Get rid of false perceptions. Get rid of frustrations and grudges against each other. Appreciate yourself and the people around you. Do not take anything for granted. Consider every cell of your body as a celebration of life, as a gift from the universe. And not with every gift comes a responsibility to give back. Always look at the people who don't have and try to do something for them that changes their life forever. Even a smile will do. But the goal is to do. That is the purpose for which we all have been created. To serve each other. Nothing else matters. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the central message of my book. And every time I tell this to my friends, they say, well, Ribat, it's a fantastic idea, but it's just not practical. You are so naive. It's just a dream. Dream. It was just the dream of one man whose belief in non-violence and his strife for the truth made it possible for 1.2 billion Indians to discover freedom in a new light. It was just the dream of one man whose belief in equality and love for humanity changed black and white America into a land of colorful opportunity. It was just the dream of one man to eliminate society that led to the invention of the light bulb. I'd like to finish with the very last lines of my book, which I borrowed from John Lennon. You may say, I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you all will join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you.